In this video, we'll explore powerful reading strategies that enhance comprehension, engagement, and motivation. Building on the study that examined the differences in strategy used between EFL and ESL students that you guys read last night. We will examine various types of strategies that help readers become more confident, independent, and thoughtful. By teaching a range of strategies from previewing the text to summarizing key ideas, teachers can help all students, regardless of their English language proficiency, reading skill development, or background, develop a more strategic and confident approach to reading. This not only boosts their comprehension, but also makes reading a more engaging and motivated experience. So, what are reading strategies? Simply put, they are purposeful approaches that help us better understand and interact with text. By using them, we can build confidence and become independent readers, as these strategies encourage deeper engagement and critical reflection. As we've discussed all week, reading isn't a passive activity, it's a dynamic process. Strategies like predicting, questioning, or summarizing help readers actively construct meaning. Instead of just decoding words, a strategic reader is constantly making connections and evaluating information. This active engagement transforms a simple reading task into a more thoughtful and effective experience, ultimately boosting comprehension and making the process more rewarding. Reading strategies are deliberate techniques used to improve how we understand and remember what we read. In other words, they are conscious, intentional actions we plan to take while reading to better navigate a text. By actively applying these strategies, readers can guide themselves through complex material, helping them make meaningful connections with the text. Instead of simply letting words flow over them, a reader using strategies is an active participant in the process. For example, a reader might preview a text by looking at headings and subheadings to get an idea of the main topics, or they can ask questions while reading to check their understanding. This intentional engagement improves comprehension and makes the reading experience more effective. Reading strategies help learners build confidence and become independent readers by giving them autonomy over the reading process. By applying these deliberate techniques, students can tackle complex text with greater understanding and less reliance on a teacher or a peer or their parents. By mastering these techniques, students gain a sense of control over the reading. This repeated success in understanding complex text builds their confidence, eventually turning them into independent learners who can approach any new material strategically and effectively inside and outside the classroom. Using reading strategies promotes reflection about the reading process, which in turn encourages readers to think critically about what they've read. This critical reflection fosters deeper comprehension and helps students make personal connections to the text. A reader who reflects might ask themselves questions like, did I understand the author's main point? What do I already know about this topic? And how did this text change my perspective? Or was there anything confusing, and how can I find a way to clarify it? This self-reflection not only improved their understanding of the current text, but also gives them a set of transferable skills for all future reading. The article you read referenced 4 types of reading strategies, the first of which is metacognitive strategies. These strategies involve being aware of and controlling your own thinking process while reading, which in turn improves comprehension and problem solving. The main goal of metacognitive strategies is to monitor the reading process. This continuous self-monitoring helps readers recognize when they misunderstand content and enables them to take corrective actions to regain clarity. When a reader monitors their understanding, they are essentially having a conversation with themselves about the text. This involves asking questions like, does this make sense? Or, am I getting the author's main point? Or, what's the relationship between this paragraph and the next one? If a reader's internal check reveals a lack of clarity, they can then apply a corrective strategy, such as rereading a difficult sentence, looking up an unfamiliar word, or slowing down their pace. This active, self-guided approach to reading not only fixes immediate comprehension problems, but also strengthens their overall reading skills for the future. Asking questions before and during reading is a powerful strategy that connects new information to what a reader already knows. This active approach enhances both understanding and retention. Questioning turns reading into a conversation, like we mentioned earlier. Before reading, a student might look at the title and headings and ask, what do I already know about this topic? Or what do I expect to learn? This pre-reading activity activates their existing knowledge and creates a purpose for the reading. During reading, a student can continue to ask questions to monitor their comprehension. For example, what is the author's main point here in this sentence or in this paragraph? Or how did this detail support the main idea? This continuous questioning forces the reader to engage critically with the text, leading to a deeper level of comprehension and better recall of the material later on. When a reader becomes confused, they can use fix-up strategies like rereading, summarizing, or asking for help to restore comprehension. This situation highlights an important point. Many reading strategies are used only when needed. For example, rereading allows the reader to re-examine a tricky sentence or paragraph to catch a detail they might have missed. Summarizing, on the other hand, forces the reader to mentally distill the main ideas of the text so far, helping them to see where the comprehension may have gone wrong. And asking for help is a way for a reader to get external clarification on a confusing concept, which is a great option when self-correction doesn't work. These strategies are not used all the time. Instead, a strategic reader monitors their understanding and deploys these fix-up tools only when they recognize a problem. This demonstrates a high level of metacognition and allows the reader to take control of their own learning. Now, let's talk about cognitive strategies. These are mental techniques that help readers process and organize information, which improves both understanding and recall. Two excellent examples of cognitive reading strategies are making predictions and creating mental images. Both of these techniques actively engage readers and help them anticipate and comprehend text content. Before and during reading, a strategic reader uses clues from the text, like the title, headings, or images, to make educated guesses about what will happen or what the text will be about. The act of making prediction builds curiosity and a sense of purpose. As the reader continues, they either confirm or adjust their predictions, which strengthens their understanding of the reading material. As readers take in information, they can actively create mental images or visualizations of the people, places, and events described. For example, when reading a story, a reader might picture a scene in their mind, just like in a movie. This strategy makes abstract ideas more concrete and helps the reader remember details and connect with the text on a deeper level. Another cognitive reading strategy is summarizing key ideas and details. This technique involves condensing the main points of a text into a shorter form, which aids in both memory and overall understanding. Summarizing is a powerful tool because it forces the reader to actively engage with the material and distinguish between what is essential and what is not. When you summarize, you are identifying the core message, the main idea of a text, and filter out irrelevant information. Restating the text in your own words improves retention by synthesizing the information and creating a more organized mental representation of the text, which makes it easier to recall later. This active process turns reading into a more dynamic and effective learning experience. Using graphic organizers, another powerful cognitive reading strategy. These visual tools help learners structure information, allowing them to see relationships and connections and organize ideas clearly. Graphic organizers are just Venn diagrams, flowcharts, or concept maps provide a framework for processing and retaining information. Instead of just highlighting text, a reader can use these tools to, like I said, make connections, see relationships, to better understand the text. By translating a linear text into a clear visual representation, graphic organizers reduce the cognitive load on the reader. This allows them to focus on understanding the material on a deeper level rather than struggling to keep track of disconnected facts. This article also mentions effective strategies, which focus on the emotional and motivational aspects of reading. These strategies make the reading experience more enjoyable and meaningful, addressing feelings that can either help or hinder comprehension. A useful, effective reading strategy is setting personal reading goals. These goals motivate readers to stay focused and measure progress, which creates a sense of achievement and a clear purpose for reading. Setting a personal goal, whether it's to read a chapter a day or understand a specific concept by the end of the week, transform reading from a passive task into an active pursuit with a clear destination. When a reader has a defined purpose, they are more likely to stay engaged and persist through difficult parts of a text. Reaching a goal, no matter how small it is, provides a sense of accomplishment, which builds confidence and a positive association with reading. This positive feedback loop is essential for developing a lifelong habit of reading. Another effective reading strategy is practicing positive self-talk. Encouraging oneself with positive thoughts boosts confidence and persistence when facing challenging text. When a reader encounters a difficult word or confusing sentence, their internal monologue can either help or hinder them. Negative self-talk, such as, I'll never understand this, can lead to anxiety and giving up. In contrast, positive self-talk, for example, thinking, I can figure this out, or I'll just reread the sentence, helps the reader stay calm and focused. The simple act of reframing a challenge as a solvable problem builds resilience and helps readers persevere through texts that might otherwise seem overwhelming. We'll talk more about motivating students to read on Friday. Another effective reading strategy is selecting texts that readers generally want and like. Choosing enjoyable and relevant material increases motivations and deepens a reader emotional connection to the process. When readers have a say in what they read, it changes the entire dynamic. Instead of a task to be completed, reading becomes a personal choice and a source of pleasure. This autonomy is crucial because it boosts motivation, it fosters a positive association with reading, and it deepens emotional connections. This aspect of reading and more on how to motivate students will be a focus of our discussion on Friday. The last type of reading strategy discussed in the article that you read for today was social cultural reading strategies. The strategies involve sharing and connecting reading experiences within social and cultural frameworks, which enhances understanding and appreciation of the text. By embracing the social and cultural aspects of reading, learners can move beyond simple comprehension to a deeper, more enriched understanding of the reading material. Discussing text with peers and groups is a common social cultural reading strategy. These collaborative discussions promote diverse perspectives, clarify ideas, and deepen comprehension by treating reading not as an exclusive individual endeavor, but as an interactive experience. This practice connects directly with what we discussed on Monday, the multiliteracies framework. This framework views literacy as more than just decoding words on a page. It emphasizes the social and cultural aspects of communication. When students discuss a text, they're not only processing the written information, but are also using a variety of communication modes like speaking, listening, and gesturing to make meaning. The social interaction transforms reading from a solitary activity into a collaborative one, enriching the learning experience for everyone involved. Another common sociocultural reading strategy is connecting the text to personal experiences. Relating what you read to your own life creates meaningful connections, making the reading more relevant and memorable. When a reader brings their own life experience to a text, they're not just passively receiving information. They are actively building a bridge between words on the page and their own world. This strategy helps them create deeper understanding and enhance retention. This act of making reading personal transforms it from an academic exercise into a valuable self-reflective experience. Accessing varied cultural and language materials broadens understanding and fosters inclusivity. Using bilingual resources, for example, can involve not only translating parts of a text, but also comparing them across languages to deepen comprehension. Bilingual resources go beyond simple translation. They offer a unique opportunity for learners to analyze how ideas are expressed differently in various languages and cultures. For example, comparing a poem in its original language with its translated version can reveal differences in rhythm, tone, and cultural nuances that a single language text wouldn't. This practice helps students appreciate cultural differences and develop a deeper understanding of both languages. By incorporating these resources, you can create a more inclusive learning environment that values students' cultural and linguistic backgrounds and broadens their perspective on the world. Why should you, teachers, dedicate instructional time to reading strategies? Because these strategies are foundational to developing comprehension skills, critical thinking, motivation, and social connection through shared literacy experiences. Effective strategies help readers not only understand text, but also build skills for lifelong learning and literacy. Learners can use these strategies to help them understand any text, and they can also use strategies when they read on their own, either inside or outside the classroom. By applying reading strategies, readers develop analytical skills and maintain the motivation needed to engage with complex ideas in text. This deliberate approach transforms reading from a passive activity into an active and rewarding one. Reading strategies are the tools readers use to dissect and understand complex text. For example, when a reader learns to question the author's purpose or evaluate the evidence presented, they are practicing critical thinking. By using these strategies consistently, readers strengthen their ability to think critically and engage with challenging reading materials. This process also builds a sense of accomplishment, which fuels their motivations to tackle even more difficult texts in the future. Using reading strategies also helps readers connect with others through shared reading experiences, which fosters community, empathy, and deeper appreciation of diverse perspectives. Reading is often seen as a solitary activity but when it's done as a group, it becomes a powerful tool for social connection. When readers discuss a text, they build community, develop empathy, and appreciate diverse perspectives, like I said earlier. This collaborative approach to reading transforms a personal journey into a shared one, enriching the learning experience for everyone involved. Before we conclude, I'd like to leave you with this special message. By incorporating a variety of reading strategies into your instruction, you can transform how learners engage with text. This approach not only boosts their confidence, but also nurtures a foundation for lifelong literacy. When students understand and apply these strategies, they are empowered to unlock their full reading potential. It's crucial for you as a teacher to teach as many strategies as possible because they serve as a toolkit for your students. Just as a mechanic needs various tools for different car problems, a reader needs a range of strategies to tackle different texts and challenges. A reader who can only use one strategy, such as rereading, will be stuck when a text is conceptually difficult. However, a reader who knows how to use metacognitive strategies to monitor the comprehension, cognitive strategies to summarize, and effective strategies to manage frustration can handle any text with confidence. By teaching a wide array of strategies, you are ensuring your students can use these skills inside and outside of the classroom, making them truly independent and skilled readers for life.